I think I'm quite ready for another adventure. And if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. Our first stop was the home of Van Gogh, Rembrandt, Anne Frank, and more bikes than humans. After cramming our bags into a locker, we set out to explore Amsterdam on an extended layover.
Caught behind those burning eyes, tangled up in morning white. Do you ever really know? Can you ever really know?
Hello.
Watch her take me by surprise when she lets me call her mine. I don't know the loneliness you know. I don't hear the frosty words echo inside when you're gone again. I can't read your mind, though I'm trying all the time. Oh, there's something I don't know. I can see it in your eyes. As the night ascends, all will slow again. I am left in awe of the woman I adore.
Amsterdam, the sad to see us leave.
We're in Morocco. Hi, Clark.
Hello.
The first problem of the trip was my phone not working in the Netherlands. Then, it took us about an hour longer than expected to get out of the airport in Morocco, which is a problem when you have to drive 3 hours to make it to your hotel before midnight. We still crammed in some brief sightseeing in Marrakesh before skipping town. Driving felt like piloting an X-Wing through a swarm of TIE fighters.
Having fun driving in Marrakesh, Pa?
Yeah. We're going straight.
Yep.
Look at that. He rubs on both the cars. They're going to squeeze him to death.
At one point, we went flying down a narrow alley, straight into a wall, only to realize there was a hard right turn into a tunnel at the last second. It would have felt like a trench in the Death Star were it not for the Moorish archways. From there, we wound our way up a section of the Atlas Mountains to Aït Benhaddou. Our host, Brahim, kept saying midnight was too late to arrive, but I told him we would pay him extra if he let us in. Sleeping in our tiny 4-seater car was our only backup option.
In the middle of the night, on the first night of the trip without any sleep. I mean, we've got a lot of sleep, Allison, a lot of sleep. Just going through a big mountain pass, some rock slides.
Road ends without any warning.
I thought Brahim would be grumpy when we arrived, but holy smokes, he was perhaps the most hospitable human I have ever met. He came out to meet us in the dark, and I apologized we were so late. He said, No, this your home. Then he carried our bags to our room, gave us the best room in the place with a view of the river and the ruins on the other side, even though that's not the room we paid for. Then he asked if we were hungry. We skipped dinner, so we were. He brought us into his own kitchen and cooked us eggs and lamb in his homegrown olive oil. When I tried to tell him we didn't expect him to make us anything, especially since it was so late, he shushed me and said, You family, this your house. And he sat down and ate with us. I said we'd pay him for the food. He said, Money? No. You family, you my family. Only heart important to me. Heart to you, heart to you, heart to you. No money. What an awesome human. After grabbing a few hours of sleep, we woke up before the sun to cross the river and explore the Qasr of Aït Benhaddou, the best example of the earthen architecture of the Berbers, the native North African peoples of Morocco. Although most of the structures have been restored since the 17th century, the site has been occupied since around the year 750. More recently, Aït Benhaddou has been featured in dozens of movies and TV shows. Walking around the place on your own, with hardly anyone there, definitely captures the imagination. While in the Qasr, we got outfitted with our turbans. Although not quite the traditional Berber tagelmusts, which can be 33 feet long. They were fun and would suit us well on the next leg of our journey, camel rides and camping in the Sahara. Before leaving, we picked up a few souvenirs, and Clark and I ran up a hillside for a different view. Back at the hotel, we had a delicious breakfast of bagrier, traditional Moroccan pancakes, and freshly squeezed orange juice. The juice tasted extra good after drinking the water we filtered there, which was, without a doubt, the worst water I have ever tasted in my life. We bade Brahim farewell, and then drove straight west for 6 hours. We passed some amazing landscapes and had some adventures along the way. The highlight was picking up a hitchhiker named Abdul, whose car broke down. Although the language barrier was fairly steep, we loved getting to know him. At one point, he asked how old we were. I told him how old I was, and then I pointed to Pa and said he was 120. Abdul was completely shocked for a good 3 seconds, until he saw me smiling in the rearview mirror and realized it was a joke. He broke out laughing. It's nice to know humor is cross-cultural. Unfortunately, we made a cultural faux pas when we dropped him off. Abdul insisted on paying us, but we wouldn't take his money. Then he invited us to mint tea with his family as a way of thanking us. We were rushing to the desert to make our camel ride on time, so we told him no thanks. He kept asking us and saying he was a Berber, not a barber. We understood he was trying to say he was not trying to cheat us, but we didn't know what that had to do with cutting hair. It wasn't until I had a chance to do some research after the trip that I learned the word barber, ending in AR, not ER, is an offensive slur in Arabic and forms the root of the word barbarian. Abdul was legitimately disappointed we did not take his money or drink tea with his family. To this day, we legitimately regret we didn't take the time to meet his family as well. Berbers are the warmest and friendliest people we've ever met. Along the drive, we kept seeing this symbol everywhere on official signs and what we thought was graffiti. We learned it is the Tifana letter Yaz, a symbol for the Berber people representing a free person.
There we go.
It was a long drive, and it was Clark's first realization that lunch was not included. But we had a ton of fun, and it went quickly. We saw a ton of washed-out roads along the way, and even some flooding from the record-breaking rainstorms received the week prior. Our destination, Merzouga, was in worldwide headlines for receiving several years' worth of rain in a single day. Flooding in the Sahara Desert, who knew? Our camel adventure started with meeting our host Hamad for mint tea, and then our excellent guide Al-Rashid loaded us up on our fine beasts and took us into the endless sea of sand.
Yes. Oh. Shukran.
just had some hot mint tea.
We wished we could have shared the sunset with our significant others, but we did get to share some mint tea and dinner with our 2 new friends from Germany and a dude from Canada. For the evening's entertainment, Al-Rashid and his buddies played drums around the campfire, and then we had a fantastic sleep in our tent. In the morning, we enjoyed the sunrise and breakfast before mounting our camels for the trek back to Merzouga.
Is that you? You got on the right one, Clark. That was not
We were so skilled at camel riding that the people of Morocco put us on their 100 dirham bill. With that, our adventure was off to a fantastic start.
We're leaving Merzouga in the Sahara Desert from our hotel and our camping.
Next up was our longest drive of the trip. 7.5 hours north to the city of Fez. We were grateful for the opportunity to see so much of the country. Morocco was far more diverse than we ever expected. Yes, there were plenty of deserts, but there were also dense forests with monkeys.
Hey, little buddy.
We passed towns of all sizes, from nomad camps to fancy ski resorts. There were apples everywhere, and no matter the time of day, it seemed like there were always kids walking along the road, going to or from school. We enjoyed seeing entire families on scooters, sometimes with sleeping children, and the overstuffed trucks with hay. Pa drove so much he literally got a blister on his heel. I think it had more to do with the tiny car than it did with driving too much. We only got pulled over once. We are still arguing about whether the officer said, "You are going too fast," or "You are going to Fez." We didn't get a ticket, and we were going to Fez, so either way, we just smiled and waved at him and moved along. In Fez, we were welcomed to our riad with mint tea, and then we set out to explore the endless maze of the Medina, the ancient walled center of the city. Founded in the 9th century, the Medina of Fez is the oldest in Morocco. With an estimated 9,600 alleyways, with over 4,000 dead ends, it is also the largest. My naive goal before the trip, to truly experience the Medina, was to get lost in there. Oh boy. I'm now just grateful we made it out alive. It was insane.
What do you guys think of Moroccan slot canyons?
Yeah, these are as crazy as slot canyons I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
Google Maps was completely useless in there. Even worse was the constant stream of helpers who tried to show us where we wanted to go by first purposefully leading us astray and then demanding payment to help us get back.
It's difficult to explain the situation. It's freaking incredible. We found this gate. We don't know what it is, but it's cool. And everywhere you step, people are watching you because they want to try to take your money somehow. It's so amazing. Just like, what was that movie, Aladdin? Yeah.
All right, sister. Your husband is in the middle of a Medina and Fez negotiating for a new purse for you. And Clark almost got pickpocketed. Lady walked by him and bumped into him pretending to be on her phone and was feeling him up.
The only useful trick we learned is that octagon-shaped street signs indicate dead ends and square signs indicate open routes.
We learned that sign means it's closed in there. You can go wander around there the rest of your life, never come out again.
Realizing some people are born, live their entire lives, and die in that maze was mind-blowing. It was such a dramatically different life.
Did we come in this way?
Yeah, we did.
We did? Oh my gosh, I am so turned around. That was the exact same, huh?
Exactly this one.
Oh my gosh.
In addition to meeting some good humans, a highlight was seeing the University of Al-Qarawiyyin. Established in the year 859, it is the world's oldest university. Since I work at the oldest university in Logan, Utah, established in 1888, I felt a special connection to the place. It's interesting to note that Al-Qarawiyyin was established by a woman, giving evidence to the theory that women existed in North Africa for far longer than any other place on Earth. We did finally make it back to our riad, and we had a phenomenal tagine dinner. My olive chicken with cooked lemon rinds and who knows what else was in there was one of the best things I've ever put into my mouth. Our night in the glow of the stained glass windows was a truly magical end to our day. On day 4 of the trip, we hit 4 different UNESCO World Heritage Sites while traveling north 250 miles to Tangier. Leaving our riad in the Medina of Fez, we drove through the historic city of Meknes, visited the Roman ruins of Volubilis, explored the blue city of Chefchaouen, and ended up on the ocean next to the Cave of Hercules.
How many people live here, Pa?
20,000 people here.
This was the main entrance.
Is it getting better? Or do you feel the same? Will it make it easier on you now? You got someone to blame. You said one love.
This was the toilet room.
One life, when it's one need in the night. One love, we get to share it. Leaves you, baby, if you don't care for it. Did I disappoint you or leave a bad taste in your mouth? You act like you never had love, and you want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, carry each other.
Idris, our guide, gave us plenty to think about as we drove away. He wasn't actually a guide at all. He was a security guard. But we kept asking him questions, and he ended up following us around for several hours, telling us about the Romans and Berber people who lived there in the 3rd century BC. Beyond becoming our private guide, he became our friend. We learned about his life in Morocco, how his father passed away, how he now provides for his mother and siblings, and about his Muslim faith. We were impressed when he lamented all the violence in the world and told us with conviction that we are all one people and we believe in one God.
One love, one blood, one life. You got to do what you break me down and beat me blue. There ain't a beauty on the planet coming close to you. In the harsh heat of summer or a cool crisp fall, I'd rather be ruined by you than be loved at all. Well, my chest talking, jaywalking, Levi jean queen, I've been everywhere, I swear, and you're the finest I've seen. Break me down and beat me blue. There ain't a kindness on the planet that compares to you. In the dark of the night or the light of day, I long for you tomorrow as I did today. Well, my daydreaming, people pleasing, bright on dark days, girl, I fell hard and I've looked wide, and you're the rarest in the world. Dreams, but in my dreams it seems I'm only chasing you. And break me, beat me, tear me down, and drag my ass all over town. I'll whisper you these sonnets till I'm blue. Oh, I'll whisper you these sonnets till I'm blue. Break me down, beat me blue. There ain't a heaven on the planet that saves me like you. The hallelujahs all till you're gone for miles. A grown-ass man grinning like a child. High on the mountain or the valley low. Only thing that heals my blues no matter where I go.
Around sharp, yep.
basically do a U-turn. Heads up motorcycle.
Leaving the Blue City, we had our last long drive through Morocco.
That's cool.
2.5 hours to the far north of the country, Tangier. Clark had long since eaten all of his wheat thins, and Pa ate all of Clark's Twizzlers. But fortunately, we had plenty of new landscapes out the window to sustain us until we could stop for dinner after the sun went down.
This is the Mario Kart track.
This looks like a pretty clean place.
With the quarry smoking in the distance, that's pretty cool.
We made it to the beach just in time for sunset.
You planned that pretty good, huh? Yeah.
We found a restaurant on the beach, evidently where the local teenagers like to hang out. And we ordered several items to share.
We had no idea what we were ordering here. Is this our first restaurant meal?
Yes.
Be warned that when you order a taco in Morocco, it's actually a panini. The one we had turned out to be Pa's favorite meal of the whole trip. We then drove around for an entire hour looking for a gas station. We also had some trouble checking into our Airbnb. Our host didn't speak a word of English, and we didn't speak a word of Arabic, but we figured it out. The next morning, after squeezing through an extremely cramped parking garage, we tried to visit the Cave of Hercules, but wasn't open yet.
Oh, they're not gonna let us in? Bummer.
Instead, we explored the rocky beach for a minute, and then made our way to Tangier to dump our rental car,
That's kind of like flushing the toilet, isn't it? Look at that.
go for a quick walking tour, and yes, we got Clark some breakfast, and then hop on the ferry across the Strait of Gibraltar to Tarifa, Spain.
Goodbye, Africa.
It was pretty cool to change countries and continents in a 1-hour boat ride. Look! Clark's in Africa and Pa's in Europe in the same frame. When we landed, we had to make our way to Gibraltar without a rental car. Since we only had 1 day to explore Gibraltar, we tried to get there as quickly as possible by taking a cab. We started following a suspicious cab driver to his supposed car, but he gave us a creepy vibe, so we backed out and took public transportation instead. Some blessings come in disguise. This way, Pa got to ride the bus from Algeciras to Gibraltar in this guy's armpit.
This is the first time we've walked into another country. And the first time we've walked across the plane runway. What do you think, Pa?
I'm loving it. It's cool.
2 continents and 3 countries in 1 day.
Gibraltar was an adventure. Sure, there were amazing views from the top of the Rock of Gibraltar. There were Barbary macaques, the only monkeys in the world that don't have tails. There were the tunnels
Inside the Rock of Gibraltar.
that were started in 1704 when the British captured Gibraltar from Spain,
Technically don't know if we're supposed to be in this part of it.
and history going back centuries before that. However, the true adventure of Gibraltar was getting locked out of our Airbnb. We're locked out of our Airbnb. Guy forgot to leave the key in there. So we're having a look around the neighborhood. The previous guest did not leave the key in the lockbox like they were supposed to, and the host was out of cell phone range all day. We were not about to miss out on our one day in Gibraltar, so we secretly stashed our bags in someone's unlocked garden shed in the alleyway near our Airbnb and set off to explore while we tried to figure out where we might be able to sleep that night.
That's why they call me the Rock of Gibraltar. That's why they say my heart is made of stone. So don't you try to lead me to the altar, because Gibraltar is standing alone. Gibraltar is standing alone. I travel all over from city lights to Clover. I'm selling brushes door to door. The ladies know me well, they're buying what I sell, but I never let them ask for any more. And I never put my toes in a door that might be closing. I try to use my winning ways, but when I know for certain the lady is a-flirting, I tell her I'll be back in 30 days. That's why they call me the Rock of Gibraltar. That's why they say my heart is made of stone. So don't you try to lead me to the altar, because Gibraltar is standing alone. Yes, Gibraltar is standing alone. Now when a lady rushes, I sell her 2 more brushes, and then I leave her at the door. I'm always thinking of the freedom that I love, 'cause I'm a man of freedom to the core. So it's not that I am choosy with Isabel or Susie, I just like to lead a happy life. Give me women, wine and song, then I know I can't go wrong, until I take a woman for a wife. That's why they call me the Rock of Gibraltar. That's why they say my heart is made of stone. So don't you try to lead me to the altar, because Gibraltar is standing alone. Yes, Gibraltar is standing alone. So it happened one morning without any warning. I knew that I had met my doom. She was pretty, she was sweet, she swept me off my feet. She didn't even have to buy a broom. They used to call me the Rock of Gibraltar, and now they say my heart is made of clay. But after she had led me to the altar, then old Gibraltar crumbled away. Oh, Gibraltar took a tumble that day.
All right, our host left us high and dry. We left our baggage in the closet here while we went exploring.
That's a good sign.
Let's hope it's still in there. Pa and Clark saw many new things on this trip. One of them was seeing me angry. Yay, our stuff's still there. As in, really angry. They sat and ate fish and chips, while I was on the phone yelling at Airbnb for not doing enough to make the situation right, and then yelling at the host, who finally decided to answer his dang phone. He drove into Gibraltar from a couple hours away to let us in.
We've come halfway around the world to sit and stare at our luggage in.
He did have a really cool place, but I didn't enjoy it very much because of how mad I was. At least we got the place for free after all of my yelling. On Sunday, we explored a little more on our way to the airport.
Wow.
Where we picked up a rental car. We drove to Algeciras for church, and then set off to spend 3 days exploring southern Spain. We roamed across Andalusia in our Hyundai Kona like Don Quixote de la Mancha on his noble steed Rocinante. We even saw windmills. We were not sure if they were terrible giants or not, but we decided not to attack them, just to be safe.
I was a lover, just cause I steal the things you hide, just cause I focus while we're dancing on, just cause I offered you a ride. Still I am not from Barcelona, no, I am not even from Madrid. I am a native of the North Pole, and I could mess up any gear. Well, if you could reinvent my name, well, if you could redirect my day, I wanna be the king of Spain. And I will settle in Pamplona, and I'll provoke the bulls with words. And then I send a man to meet them all. The blood is fake, so I can hurt. And all the senoritas sighing, oh, will be the fountain of my life. But while we're floating in siesta, will you search for bottles and for knives? No. Well, if you could reinvent my name, Spanish leather, oh, while I'm tightening my crown, I'll disappear in some flamenco, and perhaps I'll reach the other side. Why are you stabbing my illusion? Oh, just cause I stole some eagle's wings, because you named me as your lover. Well, I thought I could be anything.
Castle up there. Oh, that's awesome.
King of Spain.
I'm worried we're going the wrong way. I don't want. No, that car's there. What would we do if a car was coming up? Turn right on the next sidewalk.
That's about what we did.
According to plan, most nights we got to our Airbnb and found some dinner after dark. Then we were out exploring again before sunrise. If you Google the village of Setenil de las Bodegas, where we stayed, you will see this image in the first 1 or 2 results. It's also the face of all the souvenirs. Guess what place we scored for the night? Yep, this one.
Casa Bajo la Roca.
It's even cooler in real life. The best part of the house under the rock was Pa giggling like a schoolgirl in delight about the rock hanging over his head in his room. I slept on the couch in the living room. Sometime in the middle of the night, Pa woke up to use the baño. He fell down the stairs and smashed into the wall right next to me. Supposedly. I didn't hear a dang thing. Hey, I was averaging 4 hours of sleep a night because I was so wired with excitement. I had some catching up on sleep to do, okay? Fortunately, the crash woke up Clark in his room. He thought Pa was dead, and he came running to the rescue. I just heard about it all in the morning, even though it allegedly happened just a few feet away from me. After exploring Setenil, we explored some of the other pueblos blancos in the area. A highlight was exploring the cathedral and castle of Olvera. I could never get sick of walking around medieval towns and Spanish villages. But Spain isn't all castles and cathedrals. We had our fair share of adventures as well. Back in Ronda, we zip-lined over the gorge and only slightly trespassed to play in the waterfalls in the river Guadalquivir below the iconic Puente Nuevo. We swam in the pool that emerges from the mouth of the Cueva del Gato after the river Guadares journeys 2.5 miles underground. And we hiked the Caminito del Rey above the Guadalhorce River, once considered the most dangerous hike in the world, before all the improvements were made. Most of the names of the rivers in Andalusia come from Arabic terms. The Guadalquivir River in Ronda translates to River of Milk. When the Arabs first conquered the region in the Middle Ages, there were so many cows that the river actually flowed with milk instead of water. This is why the Spanish invented bullfighting, to kill all the excess bulls. Ronda is actually the birthplace of bullfighting. The Plaza de Toros on top of the cliff in the old town is the oldest bullfighting ring in the world. It's the home of Pedro Romero, the greatest bullfighter who ever lived. He allegedly fought 5,558 bulls without incurring serious injury before he retired in 1799 at the age of 80. We should take a moment of silence to remember all the bulls who died there. Okay, that's enough. Let's get to the adventure part.
Time has numbered my days, and I'll go along with everything you say. But I ride home laughing, look at me now, to the walls of my town, they come crumbling down. And my ears hear the call of my unborn sons, and I know that choices color all I've done. But I'll explain it all to the watchman's son. I ain't never lived a year better spent in love. Cause I know my weakness, know my
voice, and I'll believe in grace and choice. And I know perhaps my heart is sparse, but I'll be born without a mask. Like the city that nurtured my greed and my pride, I stretch my arms into the sky. I cry, Babel, Babel, look at me now. The walls of my town, they come crumbling down. You ask, where will we stand in the winds that will howl? As all we see will slip into the cloud. So come down from your mountain and stand where we've been. You know our breath is weak and our body thin. Press my nose up to the glass around your heart. I should have known I was weaker from the start. You'll build your walls, and I will play my bloody part to tear them down. Well, I'm gonna tear them down. 'Cause I know my weakness, know my voice, and I'll believe in grace and choice. And I know perhaps my heart is fast, but I'll be born without a mask.
The Caminito del Rey was originally built as a cliffside service path to connect two hydroelectric facilities in the early 20th century. After it was abandoned and fell into disrepair, daring adventurers still braved the journey. Unfortunately, many people died before efforts were made to restore it as a tourist attraction in 2015. While tourists are now safe from plummeting to their deaths, they are now subject to other hazards, like death through anthropophobia. There were so many people there, even with the reservation system. It was a little disappointing, but still, a really cool hike.
Doing laundry in Spain. Came at night, leaving before the sun's all the way up.
I'm thinking that tower has something to do with the water.
Next was a 2-hour drive to Córdoba, where our primary activity was seeing the great mosque cathedral. The site has been used to worship different deities since ancient times. Founded in the 2nd century BC by the Romans, Córdoba was later conquered by the Visigoths, who built a basilica. Muslims, under the Umayyad Caliphate, took over in the early 8th century and built a mosque, which was greatly expanded over 500 years until it was second in size only to the Great Mosque of Mecca. Christians again took over in the 1200s through the Reconquista and converted the complex into a cathedral that still stands today as one of Spain's most historic monuments. From there, it was another 2-hour drive, this time to Sevilla. We couldn't see the castle I was most looking forward to seeing along the way, Almodóvar del Río, because it was closed for filming an episode of Game of Thrones. Because of time and timing, We just couldn't fit in everything we wanted to see and do. Pa's biggest regret of the trip was not getting inside the Cathedral of Seville, the largest Gothic cathedral in the world, although we did get to walk around the outside. My biggest regret of the trip was not bringing my nicer camera on that walk, so I could get close-up shots of the rose-ringed parakeets nesting in the gargoyles. We walked several miles, but we never found the barber.
The Torre de Oro.
We spent our last night in Spain in a creepy little roadside hotel on the western border next to Portugal.
Wasn't too creepy. Got in late. Headed out before the sun comes up again this morning. You know, those birds by the river.
First thing the next morning, we crossed into Portugal. The border crossing was as easy as driving from Utah into Idaho. It was delightful. The first plan was a quick hike through an orange grove to cliff jump off a waterfall. Unfortunately, the waterfall was dried up because of an ongoing drought. Instead, we went early to the next activity, kayaking the sea caves of the famous Algarve coast. We met a guy named Ricardo in a parking lot who hooked us up on a tour with our guide Eusenio.
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, the voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean man, the crust of a tan man and by the sand, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean man, can you see through the wonder of amazement at the open man? Ocean man, the crust is elusive when it casts forth to the childlike man. Ocean man, the sequence of a life form raised in the sand, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean man. Take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, the voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean man, the crust of a tan man and by the sand, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean man, can you see through the wonder of amazement at the open man? Ocean man, the crust is elusive when it casts forth to the childlike man. Ocean man, the sequence of a life form raised in the sand, soaking up the thirst of the land. Ocean man.
Shrimp cakes. You're gonna have to try some of this, Mike.
After a delicious seafood meal on the beach, we drove north for 3 hours through Lisbon and into Sintra. We were curious about all the trees we passed that appeared to have their bark systematically stripped from their trunks. Thanks to Google, we learned they were cork trees. Turns out Portugal is the world's largest producer of cork, accounting for over 60% of the global supply. All the souvenir shops had things, all things, made out of cork. I decided to get Allie a cork wallet.
This is our Charm Inn in Sintra.
The place was very charming. We dumped our bags and set out to explore the neighborhood and hike up the mountain to see the Moorish Castle. It was like walking through a fairy tale. We weren't the only ones to think that. In 1866, Hans Christian Andersen himself stayed at a house just around the corner from ours. For dinner, at an old-timey restaurant, we stumbled through Portuguese with our Spanish. The proprietor seemed pretty grouchy, until he saw us sopping up every last drop of delicious, sagey, olive-oily goodness and oohing and aahing over the flavor of his lamb chops. We not only got a big smile out of him, but a hearty laugh as well. It's nice to know food can bridge cultures.
This feels very Halloween-y. Moorish Castle at night. Careful!
After an elegant breakfast at the Charm Inn, we ventured into the rain to explore Sintra. Oh my, what a magical place! We started with the Quinta da Regaleira. In Portugal, a quinta is a traditional country estate. In even older days, the word quinta, or 1/5, represented the practice of peasants paying to rent the land with 1/5 of its produce. There was no farming going on at this quinta, just endless pathways, hidden staircases, tunnels, caves, bridges, lookout towers, castles. It's the dream backyard of every little kid in the world, including me. From the Quinta, we moved up the mountain to explore more of the Moorish Castle in daylight. To get between sites, we hired a tuk-tuk driver named Felipe. He told us he loved to talk to his passengers, and then proved his point by talking non-stop for 20 minutes. He actually was super helpful. We wished we had found him in the Medina of Fez. The Moors were Muslim peoples of North Africa. During the Middle Ages, the Moors of this region were of Arab, Berber, and Iberian descent. They built this mountaintop fortress in the 8th century for surveillance and protection. It's been modified and restored over 1,000 years, and it is glorious.
Back to civilization.
After walking around all day in that lush, green rainforest, it was hard to believe that just a week earlier we were riding camels in the Sahara Desert. We covered a lot of ground on our 13-day trip. It was sad to admit it was almost over. Our last jaunt was a 3.5-hour drive to the northern end of Portugal, to the city of Porto. We had at least 43 different things we wanted to do along the way, but we spent so much time in Sintra that we didn't get to any of them. We did get to see more of the country out the window of our little Hyundai Kona. When we dropped the car off at the airport, the grumpy attendant asked if I knew what the word Kona meant in Portuguese. He then broke out laughing when he told me it meant Turns out that car is named all over the world except for in Portugal, where it is named the Kauai. Little did we know, people were laughing at us all through Portugal. On our last night, we ate the famous sandwich of Porto, the Francesina, and cheered on the local professional football team at a pub with the other locals. We spent our last night in an official hostel along the coastal Camino de Santiago. In the morning, we took a last walk along the Camino on the beach with some other pilgrims.
Walking the Camino de Santiago. Headed home.
The fog that rolled in ended up delaying our flight just long enough so we missed our connecting flight in Amsterdam, and we spent an unanticipated extra night there. It was another hiccup in the trip, along with a phone not working, a shuttle bus and cars that broke down, not getting into all the caves, castles, or cathedrals that we wanted to, a dried-up waterfall, and the big whammy of being locked out of our Airbnb in Gibraltar. But we learned something on this trip. Life is like travel. It's not about the things that go wrong, and it's not even about everything going right. It's about going. It's about the people you go with and the people you meet on your way. Let's go!
Well, there's no rewind, so you might as well play while your time is rolling away. And get back on the road, it's a beautiful day. Pick up all the friends you can find on your way. And if you lose direction, they'll be there, guiding you on, guiding you on. We're all going the same way down this long road. So yes, we're all bound the same way down this long